Today is going to be a fun day for two reasons. Well, firstly, I'm going to be driving the Porsche Macan electric, or just the Porsche Macan, because all Macans are now electric. And I'm going to be taking it to Mahabaleshwar for what we call our Maha test. You get all kinds of conditions. You get city traffic, you get dual carriageways, single lane roads, bad roads, good roads, potholes, speed breakers, and finally that 40-kilometer climb up to Pollardpur, which is an absolute driver's delight and also a real battery killer. So we're going to see how the Macan electric performs and how much juice am I left with at the end of this run. So we've started out with a 100% charge, and let's see what we end with. It's a bit congested outside our office, but that's not a problem for the Macan. Now at slow speeds or in city traffic, very high performance cars, they are typically jerky, pretty high strung to drive. But a high performance EV, whether it's a high performance EV or even an EV hatch, they are just so effortless, smooth, no jerks, no transmission actually. And I think that's really the beauty of an EV, that even if they are super powerful, they make fantastic daily drivers. Now in the city, it's best to stick to normal mode. Sport and Sport Plus, they're a bit too super sensitive. Just tap it and it lurches forward. You need to be in normal for a more progressive power delivery, because otherwise, if you have passengers, you could either terrify them or make them sick. Now the ride at low speeds, it is on the firm side. It's not particularly plush, but at the same time, it's not uncomfortable. The one thing I did notice is that there's a bit of road noise filtering through, especially on uneven roads. On long drives, noise can be an issue. So why couldn't Porsche give the Macan better noise insulation? Knowing Porsche, I suspect it's more to do with saving weight than saving costs. The Atal Setu is our backyard, or rather our playground, when we have a car like the Macan. So right now we've got an open road, slow down a bit. Let's go from normal to Sport Plus, and I'm going to floor it. Whoa! This is absolutely ballistic. I mean, with 600 plus horsepower, which you get for a few bursts, and over 1,000 Newton meters of torque, what do you expect? You can break the speed limit like that. The range-topping Macan Turbo costs 1.6 crores, and that's all that's available right now. The cheaper Macan variants will be available later in the year. The good thing is that many states have waived off road tax for EVs, which makes the on-road price of the Macan Turbo EV similar to the now discontinued combustion Macan GTS. And what you save in road tax, you can put in on the options. Porsche options, always expensive. This test car is loaded with about 20 lakhs worth of options. And to talk about a few of them, you've got ventilated seats, which is a lakh plus. You've got a rear axle steering, which is 2 lakhs up. And for this augmented reality heads-up display, which is actually brilliant, it costs 3 lakhs. Is it worth it? I don't think so, but I'm just enjoying how brilliant it is. So I'm now on the Mumbai-Pune Expressway. Fair bit of traffic, but Macan EV, a happy cruiser. And quite honestly, it is here that you can kind of eke out some efficiency, because don't forget, at the end of the day, you always have one eye on the range. And the cruising at around 80 clicks over here, car is has given me so far 4.5 kilometers per kilowatt hour. I'm down to 88% with 53.4 kilometers on the clock. So we're off the expressway and onto the Pali Road, which is a single lane road. So overtaking can be tricky, but not in the Macan EV, which has enough grunt. Just put your foot down and it just goes. And it's here on these twisty bits that you can really exploit the chassis. The body control is incredible, absolutely incredible. The other thing I love about the Macan are the brakes, because normally in EVs you get that slightly odd artificial feel of a mix of regen and mechanical feel, but in this it just feels like a normal car or a normal sports car, it's got good bite and very progressive. Porsche has also nailed the braking feel and kept it as natural as possible. The Regen 2 is mild and unobtrusive. In fact, there's no aggressive one-pedal braking. A Porsche engineer quipped that Porsche doesn't believe in one-pedal braking, but one-pedal driving. So we've just come off the Pali Road. That was fun. And we are hitting the old Mumbai Goa road. Let's do a check of the range. 77% left for a distance of 107.4 km. So that's 4.8 kilometers per kilowatt hour. Not bad, not bad, given that we were pushing it fairly hard. The Macan Turbo has adaptive air suspension as standard, but to be honest, it doesn't feel like you're riding on a cushion of air. On this uneven concrete road, the ride feels very busy and you can feel every imperfection on this poorly surfaced highway. But what about performance? How quick is it in a straight line? Porsche claims a 0 to 100 kph time of 3.3 seconds. That's crazy quick and something I'm tempted to experience on this quiet stretch. Okay, let's try out the launch control. Sport Plus. Brake on. Throttle down. Yes, launch control activated and... Oh my God. Wow. It's like being launched from a cannon. Unbelievable. I mean, this thing can slay many supercars. But does it sound like a supercar? Now, a lot of EVs have artificial sound that kind of tries to mimic an ICE or give some sort of oral drama. Quite frankly, a lot of it is fake, but I think the Macan does it fairly well. It's not very obtrusive or not very over the top, just audible kind of synthetic growl, especially in Sport Plus mode. Right, so we are coming to the Mahabaleshwar turnoff at Pollardpur. This is where the fun begins. And at Pollardpur, we've got a battery SOC or the charge left of about 55% and about 225 km of range. And we've done about 190 Ks. So that's pretty good going. Just 40 kilometers to go and a nice fat margin of 55% of the battery left. So no range anxiety. So on this twisty road up to Mahabaleshwar, the Macan really comes into its own. This is probably the best handling electric SUV by far. It is just amazing how agile it is, how it loves to dart into corners despite its 2.4-ton weight. It's about 400 kilos heavier than the combustion Macan. I think what I really love is the steering because it is so precise, full of feel. It has the right amount of heft, though it can be a bit heavy at parking speed, but the confidence it gives you is just fantastic. So we've reached Mahabaleshwar and let's look at the stats. It is 31% charge left, so 31% SOC, 120 kilometers of range, and we've done 235 kilometers. So despite some hard driving, a good amount of juice left in the battery. So I could have pushed it even harder then. Having spent quality time in the Macan, I can tell you there's much to like about the cabin. But there are some niggles too. Now the Macan's cabin is typically Porsche, which is simple, functional and very well built. You've got a 3-screen layout similar to what you get in the Panamera. You've got a 12.9-inch instrument display and you've got a 10.9-inch center display, and you even have a same 10.9-inch display for the passenger as well, but that is a 1 lakh rupee option. And of course, on the move, the driver can't view the passenger screen, which gets blanked out. The infotainment system is really superb. It's logically laid out. You're not peppered with too many apps. It's sharp, it's easy to use, and it's got everything you need. And another thing I really like is how Porsche has given the right mix between hard buttons and haptic touches. Unlike many rivals that have gone fully touchscreen, the Macan retains physical buttons for key functions like climate control, so adjusting basic settings remains easy and intuitive. Porsche hasn't succumbed entirely to the touch-only trend that plagues many modern EVs, and the cabin stays true to Porsche's ethos. Driver-focused, high-quality and functional. But after all that, you don't get something basic like wireless Apple CarPlay. And that becomes a bigger issue when the USB-C ports are so badly located, it becomes a problem to slot the cable in. It's a small niggle, but clearly Porsche forgot to flip the ergonomics when switching from left-hand to right-hand drive. And there's another quirk. When parked on a dirt road, the powerful battery cooling fans stir up a dust cloud. Let's quickly check out the backseat. Well, you're not going to be buying a Macan to be chauffeur-driven in it. But that said, the space at the back is not too bad. You've got decent legroom thanks to the longer wheelbase. Not great, but you can manage. The seat is fairly comfortable, a little short on under-thigh support, but you do get a slightly claustrophobic feel at the back, and that's because of this huge sport seat over here, a high window line and a curving roof. The pano roof really helps brighten up the cabin. And again, you've got dedicated controls for the aircon, hard buttons, which I love, 2 USB ports. So really, it's not a bad place to be if you're going to be doing short distances. You can't talk about a sport utility vehicle without talking utility. So how practical is the Macan? Well, being an EV and on the PPE platform, a dedicated EV platform, there's a lot of space that's freed up, especially where the engine was supposed to be. Well, there's no engine over here, so you've got a small frunk, which is good for this big charging cable. But what's not good is they give it with this. It's not a 15 amp plug, so you can't really use it. But for that, I have a solution. That solution is Amazon. There are lots of reasonably priced portable chargers you can buy. Let's check out the boot. Pretty spacious, enough for a weekend's luggage. And what's nice is that the boot is superbly shaped, quite flat, got a fair bit of depth. But let's see what's underneath here. There's no spare tire here, just space for a repair kit and some tools. Want more flexibility? You can flip the seats down quite easily too. My takeaways of a day out with the Macan Electric? Well, it's quite clear that you can drive from Mumbai to Mahabaleshwar on a single charge. And most importantly, in a way a Porsche should be driven. And that's what the Macan Turbo Electric is all about. It's not just another fast electric SUV, but a true Porsche. It feels natural, intuitive, and engaging in a way that many EVs just don't. Okay, it lacks the mechanical soul of an engine, but makes up with instant torque, razor-sharp responses, and a level of precision that sets it apart. And at the end of the day, it offers the same, if not more, driving thrills than its petrol-powered predecessor.